Tom Monday, rocking and rolling right here. Hottest show on the streets, bringing you your Bama football news in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Welcome in, get on in here. While the getting's good, talking your Crimson Tide football, bringing you the show from the magic city of Birmingham. We stream this to you on YouTube. And speaking of a channel, you know what time it is. Come on, hit that subscribe button right now. Get everybody you know to subscribe, every friend, family member, diehard Bama fan, casual Bama fan, just consumer of Tide football. Hit that subscribe button. Make this your place, your atmosphere, your platform, channel, space to talk your Bama. Also, give a like on the show. Hit that thumbs up. Raise those like levels up, baby. Hit that thumbs up. We're trying to get this thing 50 likes on the show right now. Start us off. Appreciate you guys. That daily super chat go. $100, $100 there. Daily super chat go. All donations welcomed and appreciated. We thank you, the incredible Alabama football fans. Also, don't forget to turn all of those post notifications on. Hit that little bell so that way you miss nothing on your Crimson Tide. Gotta shout out Mike Coleman. He know what time it is. Drop it in that $4.99 in the super chats. Appreciate Mike Coleman. Dancing Steven right there doing his best thank you leg impersonation. I don't know what Dancing Steven's doing, but he get down to business though. Yeah, shout out my man Eli Walker in the production studio doing his thing as well. As we got another donation that's just come in here as Eli's getting that together. You know what it is, it's my man Bill, Big Bill from New York with that $5 donation. Helping us out right there. We want to hear from you tonight, the Bama family. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358. Number to call in. Let your voice be made known on the show. 205-448-1358. But right now, Eli, we jump to the first topic of conversation. Before we get into that, more y'all getting these donations popping right now. Who is the latest one that has just come in here, Eli, as he's getting that to go and pulling that up? We appreciate the love coming from every last one of y'all. Just throwing the money in the bag right now, man. It feels privileged right now. We got Ty Alexander with that $19.99 in the super chats. Appreciate Ty Alexander. Dancing Steven getting his workout in early tonight. But we start the conversation off, Eli, with this right here, and that is, you know, as much as we as, you know, Bama football consumers, we want to have the innovative, the creative, the entertaining offense, and we do, and that's the main reason why a lot of us have been clamoring for, you know, when is Bill O'Brien exiting stage left, and Alabama can get an offensive coordinator in here. I mean, that's the question that we all are asking ourselves, though O'Brien's contract expires after next month. As much as we want to see innovative offense, I think more than that, Crimson Tide fans look at this Alabama defense and go, this is what needs to be fixed now. This is more pertinent than the offense, right? Because we can look at Alabama football and go, you know, Bama won national championships with Greg McElroy, won national championships with A.J. McCarron, won national championships with Jacob Coker. Mac Jones wasn't the flashiest guy in the world either, but set records, yes he did, and you won a national championship with him. So defensively, Alabama has always been able to, well, prior to the last 4 or 5 years or so, Bama had been able to hang its hat on that side of the football, the defensive side. And the last 4 or 5 years where that side has tremendously struggled, you know, you as Bama Nation are going, you know what, let's get that side of the ball fixed now. We can get to the offense. Sure, we can get to the offense. But let's just get this defense fixed now, because that's the bread and butter, right? That's the side we had grown so used to being the bully on that side of the ball. We had grown so accustomed to, not having opposition rush for over 100 yards on us. Not having opposition have their way of throwing the football on it. Being able to sack a quarterback at will, stuff a running back at will, clamp down receivers at will. Give up, less than 14 points a game at will. Like, this was an Alabama program that prided itself on doing those types of things, and that was the standard around Tuscaloosa in terms of defense. So, in trying to get this defense back to that elite level of play, there were 4 names that were thrown into the speculation realm in terms of, who can Coach Saban bring in to replace Pete Golding as defensive coordinator? Well, of those 4 names, what I've been told, and this has been sourced down from close people, not just within the Alabama program, but close people to this particular coach I'm about to name. What I've been told from various sources here is, Saban has boiled it down to one name. He's going after one name and one name in particular. Saban's going all out, all in on one name. The one name, Jeremy Pruitt. That's the guy Saban's going after. That's the guy. He's like, I want him back at Alabama running this defense. And what I've been told, and the question we're asking ourselves is, okay, yes, Saban would like to have Pruitt back, but how close is that really? Like, how close is Alabama really to potentially having Pruitt back as a defensive coordinator? So, this is what I was told. I was told here that, Alabama is 85% through the red tape. And by red tape, I'm referring to the NCAA allegations that Pruitt got involved in at Tennessee, where his name's been attached to a Tennessee. When you look at the recruiting violations during Pruitt's time as a head coach, Bama is about 85% through that red tape and trying to get Pruitt back to Tuscaloosa. The one thing that remains that needs to be dealt with is there's the clause that if Pruitt was to return to the SEC and to Alabama, he would not be able to be back until August 1. So that's the clause that Saban and Jeremy Pruitt are fighting behind the scenes. That's the clause that they're fighting with the NCAA. If that clause gets lifted to where Pruitt can return sooner than August, I'm being told by people close in the Alabama program, close to Jeremy Pruitt, I'm being told, barring any unforeseen crazy circumstances, if Pruitt can get this clause lifted, he's returning to Tuscaloosa. That's what I'm being told. One clause right now is holding it. Bama 85% through the red tape, but one clause is holding it. If it can get off this one clause, Pruitt returns to Alabama. And if this happens, then this is big because Pruitt is beloved by so many Alabama fans and former Crimson Tide players for how he coordinates defenses, how he coaches defensive players, how he recruits, the energy he shows, the teaching that he shows, the passion that he takes the field with. I mean, there's nothing like it. You look at high schools across this state of Alabama, Pruitt, tremendously respected, well respected. You look at former players that have played under him at Alabama, love him. I mean, love him to the point where one of Pruitt's children is named after 2 former Alabama linebackers. It don't get no more love than that. When your son is named Flint Anderson Foster Pruitt. He's named after Ryan Anderson and Reuben Foster, two of the most feared head-hunting linebackers in the Nick Saban era in Alabama. You know you mean something to the Crimson Tide football program. That 2016 defense that Pruitt had, I mean, oh my goodness. I'm not going to go over every single stat because we'll be here all night. I'll just lay these numbers out here for you. That 2016 defense, 54 sacks, 118 tackles for loss, 80 quarterback hurries, 17 forced fumbles, 16 interceptions, 8 fumbles returned, 11 touchdowns. That 2016 defense for opponents was unholy and sinful. How they were able to sack every quarterback, stuff every running back, create an uncanny amount of turnovers, and then be able to score off those. Pruitt just ran special defenses. Just special. If he's able to come back, if Bama can get through this one clause and bringing him back, not only would he serve as DC, but he would also serve as safeties coach. And remember, 2010 through 2012, Pruitt was an on-field safeties coach those 3 seasons. So can Nick Saban break through this tape here? Can he break through? He's already 85% of the way through it. Can he break through the rest of it and get Pruitt on the University of Alabama campus to coordinate this defense? Because that's the thing. Pruitt's the name. He's the name Saban wants back. Bama's going all in on Jeremy Pruitt and doing everything possible to get through this last little bit of tape, get this last clause lifted to try to have him in Tuscaloosa before August. But we take our break here, folks. Don't touch that dial. We're just getting started here on a Monday. When we return, we take your calls, your thoughts, your conversations, your ideas. Do you think that Saban could get Pruitt back in here? We'll touch on it after this.
Nine players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, people, we're back into the action from the break on a Monday. Hottest show on the streets. Talking Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Got the man Eli Walker in here with me in the production studio. You guys dropping in these donations like hotcakes coming out of the bakery right here. Continue hitting that like button. Giving us that thumbs up on the show. Run those likes up, making this your show. Network, platform, channel, spot for Talk Bama. Also, people, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, streaming right here on TDA's YouTube channel, we got the Bama Standard, and a special edition of the Bama Standard, as we're doing a tribute to the great Ahmad Galloway, passing away, one of the outstanding running backs of Alabama football history. We got the tribute here to Ahmad Galloway. All donations, all proceeds. That if we encourage you to drop those donations for tomorrow. All proceeds will go to benefiting Galloway's family. But special tribute show tomorrow to Ahmad Galloway with Justin Riley, comedy legend Steve Brown, all SEC linebacker, former Bama legend Marvin Constant, two-time national champion, USFL champion Bo Scarborough, yours truly, Stephen Smith. So tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, streaming right here on TDA's YouTube channel. We got the Bama Standard. Guys, shout out Waylon, the president! Waylon with that $4.99, the super chats. Appreciate Waylon. We got Jamie Wilhelm with that $4.99, the super chats himself. And then Ty Alexander coming back with $4.99. Also appreciate Waylon, Jamie Wilhelm, and Ty helping us out right there. We go to the phone lines to grab your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Steven, I told Bill he was going to be first night. I got the phone call messed up. What's going on in Birmingham? Tell me something good. I'm back for one night. Lay it on me.
Well, Waylon, right now, what I'm hearing from people that are right in the Alabama program and close around Jeremy Pruitt is right now he's the name that Saban wants to have back here in the program as a defensive coordinator. Saban going all in after Pruitt. Now, they're 85% through all of the red tape, and by red tape, referring to the recruiting violations that Pruitt was linked to at Tennessee during his time as a head coach. If Pruitt can get one clause lifted, he can be back in Tuscaloosa sooner than August. The clause is holding him to August. But if it could get the clause lifted, he could be back sooner than August.
Well, they've got the money and the lawyers to do it. Nick, he's a smart guy. Maybe they can get it worked out because we need him down there. You got to wait to August. He's got to hire somebody or keep who he's got. Now, I don't know what he's going to do. I know we'll find out and see. But we'll preach a little bit here. You know, Alabama was the first NCAA college football team in the 1970s to win 100-plus games. Who else has done it? I don't see nobody on my list. It was 103 games to be exact out of 120 played. The first team in NCAA history to ever do that. Won 3 national championships. Look what Coach Saban has done. Man, college football, everybody remember before I get off here, college football stands on Coach Bryant's shoulders. It stands on his shoulders. So if these Georgia fans, these Tennessee fans come after y'all and I'm not around, tell them, college football stands on Coach Bryant's shoulders and Nick Saban's shoulders. So let them talk about that for a while. But we love everybody. We've been out of pocket. We're going to be out of pocket again here for another couple of weeks. We got another place to go to. So we just thought we'd call in that while we had a little time. We love all y'all. Y'all blowing this show up. Make us the hottest show on YouTube, hottest show on the street, hottest show in the country. Stephen loves all y'all. I do too. Y'all be safe. The president will be back in a couple of more weeks out of the Lord's willing. We're going to do a little vacation time again. Another couple of weeks here, and then we'll be done. Maybe we'll get back in here pretty tight by spring football. We love all y'all. Y'all be safe. I'll see y'all later on down the road. Bye-bye, everyone.
Appreciate Waylon calling in there. The president taking him a little bit of a vacation. Everybody can use a little bit of a vacation there. We're waiting on mine pretty soon. I'm waiting on mine at some point. I'm not going to say soon, but at some point. And Eli was like, what? Some point, Eli. Not now. Not now. We're going to take this call here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, how you doing, Steven? This is Kyle from Pensacola, Florida.
Kyle, what's happening, brother?
Yeah, man, like you were saying, man, I think Pruitt right now is just the number one option right now. A lot of fans that I know want him back. He keeps you responsible in the defense. I feel like he'll even simplify the defense a little bit for the younger guys, to kind of get a grasp of it and make it comfortable for the defensive players on the other side. I just want to see the physicality come back to the defense, you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, Kyle. And that's another thing that Pruitt would do. If brought back, he would bring the physicality back to this unit. You look at the reason why you had, guys like Jonathan Allen, A'Shawn Robinson, Jaron Reed, Deron Payne, Tim Williams, Ryan Anderson, Reuben Foster, all those guys tee off the way they did. Rashawn Evans, Sean Dion Hamilton also. Bo Davis played a role in that, but just the energy of Jeremy Pruitt, like he had you ready to run through fire. Jeremy Pruitt had you ready to run barefoot through fire. The way he would talk to you, the way he would motivate you, the way he would pump you up, the way he would just look at you. You were ready to run through absolute fire. And I feel like you get a guy like that back into this program, he would have today's athlete ready to run through fire.
Yeah, man. Even if we can't get Pruitt back as a defensive coordinator at this very moment, the least we can do is get him back as an analyst. Still let him still have input on the defensive unit. Even with a newer defensive coordinator, somebody with experience, somebody that's been tried in the big games, that'll bring so much back to that defense. We have the talent. We have the inside linebacker talent. We have the secondary talent. So getting somebody with that experience back, somebody with that tenacity back, would be very good with the talent we have on this team.
Oh, absolutely. And even Kyle, if not analyst, at least position coach, right? I mean, you could have him back as a safeties coach. I mean, he started off his first on-field role in Alabama was coaching safeties from 2010 to 2012, helping Bama get back-to-back national titles 2011 and 2012. So if not an analyst, at least have him on-field position coach working with safeties. In some way, shape, or form, that type of energy is needed for the defense.
So what have you heard so far about Freddie Roach? Do you think he's leaving, or do you think he's going to stay and continue to coach the defensive front?
As of right now, Kyle, he's still at Alabama. He's still at Tuscaloosa. He's still coaching the defensive front, still recruiting. So I've heard nothing on anything about Freddie Roach inkling to leave or looking elsewhere or drifting elsewhere. As far as I'm concerned, he is in Tuscaloosa recruiting and looking forward to continuing to coach the defensive line.
Oh, all right. Thank you, man. Thank you, Steven. Shout out to Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Everybody like and subscribe and share the live. Let's get some Alabama fans in here, get the traffic in here.
Absolutely. Appreciate Kyle from Pensacola calling in on a Monday to the show. We take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Stephen M. Happy Monday to you, brother. How's it going? Brian from Richmond.
Doing great, Brian, and yourself?
Good. Did I miss something on Glenn Schumann? I mean, I think two things. The magic equation for me, at least, is Schumann in a DC and Pruitt back on safeties. Analyst would be nice, but I think he's a position guy. Certainly negets any NCAA sanctions in terms of he's got to get off the recruiting trail or what have you for a bit. We obviously have some backup, but Jeremy moving up the target ranks, is that because you're hearing that Glenn is kind of not really sure, dropping back, or kind of what are your thoughts there?
My thoughts there would be Saban really wants to have Pruitt back in here. So that would be that. Now, once again, there's one clause that's holding all of this up, and the one clause would be if you would have Pruitt back, he would not be able to be back until August. So that's the clause that Saban and Pruitt are trying to fight through behind the scenes here. So if that clause holds, then you would have to look elsewhere. You would have to look at a Glenn Schumann. You would have to look elsewhere. But if you're able to get through that clause, then you could have Pruitt back in here. Another reason why I think Saban would go the route of Pruitt is just due to, with Schumann and how young he is at 32, 33, you would have to wonder, even if you were to get Schumann in here, how long would he remain in Tuscaloosa before a head coaching job comes calling for him? At least with Jeremy Pruitt, due to all of the stuff that happened at Tennessee, a lot of it not necessarily his fault, but all the stuff that happened to him at Tennessee, other programs would not be so quickly to touch him for a head coaching job versus how much they would be quicker to touch Glenn Schumann. So Saban is also thinking about that. Even if we were to get Schumann, and Schumann would be phenomenal for Alabama, how quickly or how long would Alabama be able to hold on to Schumann due to other teams that would be potentially coming after him?
100%. That's my thought in having Jeremy back at safeties. That's the obvious internal succession plan right now. If you can hold on to Schumann for a season, 2 seasons before he's off to a head coaching gig somewhere, Jeremy steps right up. So I'd love to get the Bama guys have to come back to Bama. If this is Saban's last sprint in terms of what he's going to do at Alabama, he's got to get the boys back in town. He's got to get all the nasty coaches back to really bring out that fire in the players. He's got to get some of the folks that have been around his system, not new guys, Bama guys that understand how he operates, what he expects. He doesn't have to babysit everybody. Wow, a Pruitt, Glenn Schumann combination would just be fantastic. Quick thought, and I'm going to hang up and let you kind of think about it for a second. As we switch to the offensive side of the ball, obviously Bill's still in town. Hopefully his bags are packed and he's waiting at the curb. But with that being said, one thing that, and I know it's difficult, and I know it's difficult on 2 fronts, not only in terms of players' egos, but also their individual development. But what a tandem and combination both Milroe and Simpson would be in terms of an active role in the QB room. Not one or the other. But think about the defensive schema that would have to come up with trying to defend an active Jalen Milroe and an active Ty Simpson that could step into the game at any moment. It puts a completely different perspective on the RPO. You've got Milroe, who's probably still the fastest guy on the team. You got Ty Simpson, who's got an accurate cannon. That would be almost an impossibility to be able to have any sort of defensive schema about within the game, intra-game, trying to defend against what the 2 of them individually could do. I do understand the egos, and I do understand perhaps the slowing development if it's not one guy exclusively over the other. But what a way to keep a guy like Jalen Milroe potentially hooked into the program. What a way to accelerate both their development, and what a way to just completely 3-dimensionalize our entire offense. That also would take an incredible, sophisticated coordinator to be able to manage something like that. But interested to see if that 3-dimensionality could ever even be an option, because at that point, lights out in terms of what we would be able to do with those 2 active QBs that could enter onto the field at any point in any game. Appreciate you, my man. Good talking to you. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Brian from Richmond calling in. And interesting enough, Eli, Alabama had that in 2018 with Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts. Remember, Mike Locksley was the OC in 2018, and that was the term joyless murder ball. Remember, Tua was the starter, but they would bring Jalen Hurts in to do different things, right? They brought Jalen to do different things. That was also the year Dan Enos was the quarterback's coach. So you had Dan Enos, just his whole job was to speed up the development of the quarterbacks, work with the quarterbacks, just fine-tune the quarterback room. That was Dan Enos' job. And then you had Coach Locks there running that whole RPO scheme, and that whole thing worked, especially getting into the postseason. Now, unfortunately, Alabama got beat by Clemson in the national championship game that year, but we did see something like that Brian hinted to in 2018 with Tua and Jalen with Mike Locksley as the OC. But we'll take this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steve? Elijah from Jersey. How you feeling tonight?
Doing great, my man, and yourself?
I'm hanging in there. I just wanted to pick your brain on and see how you felt about something. Let's just say from the time period of Kirby Smart and Jeremy Pruitt, the way they recruited those linebacker positions. That is the alpha on the defense. Let's take it from the C.J. Mosleys, the Dante Hightowers, all the way down to where I think that dominant string of linebackers stopped. I believe it stopped with Sean Dion Hamilton and Rashad Evans. To me, those were the last two linebackers in the middle that I would say were the dominant force. Now you bring in other defensive coordinators. For some reason, Steve, I believe Kirby Smart and Jeremy Pruitt, when they recruited certain type of guys to play that middle position, to take the leadership role in the center, the Reuben Fosters. All them guys had that it factor to them from that time period. Those guys they didn't have to be coached. I mean, don't get me wrong. All players have to learn defense. But Steve, they had that foundation already. It didn't have to be installed in them. They were out there to murder people. They were out there. You're not going to run. We're going to knock your block off. This is not coached. This is what's in us already. Now, I will give the current linebackers a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, which is this targeting rule. It changes the point of attack for defenders, and I totally get that. But after Sean Dion Hamilton and Rashad Evans left, it just seems like the ferociousness in that middle of our defense kind of went away. We were able to be ran on. We were able, nobody feared us like they used to. They used to fear us, where C.J. Mosley, Dante Hightower, all the way down until Rashad Evans and them. My thing is this, Steve, and I want to know what you think about this. With Kirby Smart and Jeremy Pruitt, with those type of guys that they recruited, these guys that we have on this team now, they're not their guys. Could they be coached into great players? Absolutely. I believe anybody can learn. But I wonder if the linebackers we have at Alabama now are the type of players that a Jeremy Pruitt would want in the middle of his defense. Because I can't speak on Blackshire because I haven't seen him play. I can't speak on, the gentleman, the true freshman, what's his name, Steve? I can't think of it. Campbell. Can't speak on him. But, I wonder, do they have that it? Because all those other guys had that it factor. It wasn't coached. They were just aggressive dudes to begin with. Now, all you had to do was channel that aggression and sharpen it up a little bit. But they had it. These linebackers that I'm seeing, don't get me wrong, I think Lawson's going to be a good guy. And this is his first year really seeing significant playing time. But I don't know if I've seen that headhunter like them Reuben Fosters and them guys were. Them guys came off the bench as headhunters, and I wonder if even if Jeremy Pruitt came in, would these guys fit his type of scheme? Would these guys be the alpha, the dominant male in the middle of the field that he's looking for? Any of these guys that's on there, that's on the bench right now. Because we all know Henry To'oTo'o did not fit the mold. So if that's the best we had and that's the guy that we were playing, what does it say about the other guys behind them? Are they that dominant linebacker that a Jeremy Pruitt and a Kirby Smart was used to? Because we can see when Kirby Pruitt left, he took that to Georgia. Now you see the product he has on the field. They are dominant. They're very aggressive on defense at Georgia. So I'm just want to know from you, Steve, do you think these guys that we have fit the Jeremy Pruitt and the Kirby Smart mold? Let me know what you think, Steve.
That's a good thought there coming from my man Elijah from Jersey. I think Deontay Lawson fits that mold. I think Kendrick Blackshaw fits that mold. I think Campbell and Sean Murphy fit that mold. A lot of it is, it comes down to, and Marvin Constant, who's with me on the Bama Standard, he has said this a lot. Players play to the mentality of whoever that position coach or coordinator is. And with Pete Golding, it was there was no ferocity with Pete Golding. There was no meanness with Pete Golding. I mean, of course, they loved him as a coach, but there was no fear of, that's Pete Golding. With Pruitt and with Kirby Smart, they put the fear and energy in you. They put the motivation in you. They pull all of that dogness out of you. If it's in you, they find a way to pull it out of you, and players respond to that. Defense is about energy and effort. That's what it's about. It's about energy and effort. Offensively, that's where you have the scheme and the strategizing and the system and putting stuff together. No, defense, energy, effort, read, react. That's defense. Energy, effort, read, react. And if you got the coaches that are putting that energy out there that I'm going to get in your face, that I'm going to demand, I'm going to require, you're going to get this, I'm going to motivate, and they putting it out there, those guys are going to be able to gravitate to that. Because if you look at Georgia, yes, Georgia is recruiting these types of guys, absolutely, but Kirby, Schumann, Muschamp, they are pulling those traits out. Those traits are there, but they're pulling them out. For a lot of these guys at Bama, some of them have those traits there, but Pete Golding wasn't pulling them out. You get a Pruitt, you get a Schumann, you get a coach that can pull that out. Now you really got yourself something. So that's the thing. Can you have the coach that sees it, recognizes it, and has that way of pulling that thing out? But we take this call here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Steve, what's up with you, man? This is Jay from Florence.
Jay, what's happening, brother?
Hey, man, if we get Pruitt, is he gonna have to serve a suspension of any kind?
That would kind of be the biggest question there, Jay, because if they're able to get through this clause and have Pruitt in Tuscaloosa before August, that'd be the biggest question. Would he have to serve some type of suspension? I'm not sure on that. I will do some investigation on that, but that'd be the biggest thing.
Man, he too hot, man. That man hot, man. Nick needs to just bring him in as an analyst or position coach or something. Set us up for the decade, man. Set it up right.
Hey, Jay, even your 2-year-old saying, set us up for the decade in the background.
Come on, man. We just got to set it up. Go get Schumann. You already got that, what's his name from Southern
Armstrong.
Miss? Yeah, he got defensive coordinator experience calling plays. So as a first-time play caller, it wouldn't be hard for Schumann. You see what I'm saying? Because he got a bunch of people he can rely on. Nick, Armstrong, and Pruitt. You see what I'm saying? Man, we got to go and make that happen because Pruitt, he's just too hot right now. I mean, what you going to get a coach for? You know he going to have to do some kind of suspension or some kind of time away from the team. No, Steve. Our offense, man, I like that Emmanuel Henderson at receiver, man. That it just makes sense. But now we got to get back to that to the jet sweep game, right? We got Kendrick Law built like a running back. We got Emmanuel Henderson. That ain't gonna do nothing but help the run game in between the tackles with Jace them. Since we think we got that style of running back. Man, we got to get back to people who actually care about football, man, and not just I'm trying to get back to the bigger checks. Roll Tide, I love y'all, man.
Appreciate Jay from Florence calling in as always, giving his thoughts on the show on a Wednesday. We grabbed this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, it's Ross. I'm calling from Georgia. Just had a kind of a two-part question for you.
Go ahead.
So Kendrick Blackshire, when he was recruited, he was called the Thanos of football. Do you see him living up to that expectation? And also, the second part of this question is, who do you think is going to be the saving grace quarterback? Is it going to be Jalen Milroe or Ty Simpson in the next year or two?
Okay, so to answer the first one, Ross, on the Kendrick Blackshire, I think he can live up to that name right there. And funny story, Coach Saban talked about it last year. He had grabbed the entire playbook at middle linebacker before he got hurt. He had hurt his hand, and he was out for about 4 to 5 weeks. So he got healthy now. He's healthy now. So I feel like Blackshire can most definitely live up to that name. Now, in terms of quarterback, between Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson, it's just I'm not going to count Milroe out, because if he can improve this passing slightly, that dude is absolutely dangerous. It depends on who Alabama gets in at offensive coordinator, but just how the game is now, where you have to have that quarterback that can literally see the entire field, get that ball around to everybody directly where they need it, where they want it, put that ball out there. I would say slightly Ty Simpson right now, but I want to wait till spring football to see how both of these quarterbacks look.
I got you. All right, thanks, Steven. Roll Tide.
Absolutely, Ross. They're calling in from Georgia. I'm not trying to write off Jalen Milroe, because like I said, he makes the slightest improvement. He don't got to be otherworldly. He makes the slightest improvement, passing the football with his accuracy and that timing and placement. He already got the legs. You get an offensive coordinator that can fit a system around him, he can be really deadly. He can be really, truly deadly. That's why, Eli, I'm praying that this is the spring you ain't let us back on that field again, so we can see this. We haven't been on the field for practices, COVID? Gotta get back out here. Mike Coleman with that 4.99 in the Super Chats. Appreciate that from Mike Coleman. Brian Watson dropping in that $4.99 himself. Thanks to Brian Watson right there. And we got NFC, boys. We them boys. NFC with that $4.99 in the Super Chats as well. Yes, and Steven bringing it down as hard as he can there on screen. I'll pray for Dance and Steve that his khaki pants don't fall off. It's Steve doing this thing right there. But we go to this cool call topic right here, Eli, and that is on Jalen Hurts, of whom he ended a 40-year drought for former Alabama quarterbacks in the NFL. Jalen Hurts became the first former Bama quarterback since Richard Todd, 1982-83 season, to lead an NFL team to a playoff victory. Richard Todd did it for the New York Jets, beating the Raiders 17-14, 1982-83. Jalen Hurts over the weekend in the NFC divisional round of the playoffs spanked the Giants 38-7. Hurts in that game totaled 3 touchdowns. He now has advanced the Eagles to the NFC Championship game against the San Francisco 49ers. Got some Bama on Bama crime here with Jalen, Smitty, Landon Dickerson going up against defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans. Bama on Bama crime right there. But big upset of Jalen Hurts, who's still right now the leader in terms of the NFL MVP race. Hurts this season 3,701 passing yards. That was in the regular season. The total season, he's totaled 38 touchdowns. So Hurts about that business. We take a break right here, folks. We'll touch that down. When we get back, we'll talk about a Bama sophomore who has settled into a new position and how impactful could he be? We'll break it down after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
This is Matt Caddell, former Alabama wide receiver, and you're listening to In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith with Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And I got 2 words to say, baby. Roll Tide.
All right, folks, as we're back into the action from the break, hottest show on the streets, dropping the Bama heat for you. Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith here of TDA. I want to remind you guys, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, streaming right here on TDA's YouTube channel. We got the Bama Standard and a special Bama Standard as we are doing a tribute to Ahmad Galloway, passing away, one of the special running backs in Alabama football history, good friend to another Bama legend in Marvin Constant. So we're going to have the show on tomorrow, paying respect there to Ahmad Galloway. All donations brought in, the proceeds will go to Galloway's family. So if you feel led to donate on tomorrow, all of the proceeds will go to Galloway's family. The Bama Standard with Justin Riley, comedy legend Steve Brown, all SEC linebacker, Bama great Marvin Constant, USFL champion, 2-time national champion for the Crimson Tide, Bo Scarborough, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith. The Bama Standard tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, streaming right here on TDA's YouTube channel. But as we're back into the action, Eli, we look at a Bama sophomore who has made a transition. We made the transition last year, but he settled in more so to it now, and looking forward to being impactful in this different role. And that being Emmanuel Henderson, who came in, 5-star running back in the 2022 class from Geneva County High School in Hartford, Alabama. And this is a guy that our own Justin Smith, the director of scouting and recruiting for TDA, spent a lot of time around. I mean, Henderson, speed, explosiveness, burst, agility, footwork, quickness, vision. Didn't necessarily have the weight coming in to be an SEC running back at 6'1", 185 pounds. That's the reason why Saban made the decision to transition him to the wide receiver position, where he flourished, in practice last season. I mean, flourished. The hands are there. The route running has grown. The ability to make big plays at that position has grown. I remember during the season last year, Saban talked about how Henderson has blossomed as a route runner. Henderson has blossomed in the playbook in terms of a wide receiver. He caught on very fast, caught on quick. Even got on the field in games last year. Eli, you saw it. Even got on the field and was able to, run around out there. So the young man, he's got gifts. In high school, he played receiver. He played running back in high school, played some receiver in high school, ran track, played basketball. He was a 3-sport phenom at Geneva County. So the guy's gifted. Emmanuel Henderson is gifted. The question is, though, how much of an impact can he create at that wide receiver position this upcoming spring? Because that's a loaded spot. When you talk Kobe Prentice, Isaiah Bond, Christian Leary, Isaiah Bond, Kobe Prentice, Shaz Preston, Kendrick Law, Christian Leary's gone. But the guys that came in last season with Emmanuel Henderson, they balled out. Kobe Prentice balled out. We saw his speed. Isaiah Bond, first touchdown catch of his career in the Sugar Bowl against Kansas State, and his speed, he kind of resembles Jalen Waddle a little bit. And you got Kendrick Law, who popped off in the back part of last season. You got Shaz Preston, though he didn't play, he brings gifts too, from Louisiana, was trained by Devontae Smith, former Bama receiver, Heisman winner from Louisiana. So you got those four guys. But you look at, you returned Corey Brooks and Jermaine Burton as your veteran guys. Then not to mention the freshmen you bring in with Cole Adams and Jarrett Hamilton and Jalen Hale and the transfer and Malik Benson, JUCO transfer. So a lot of names here at wide receiver. But Emmanuel Henderson, his size, 6'1", 185, his type of speed. Our own Jay from Florence just called in talking about, jet sweeps and the pop pass game and the perimeter, get the guys on the edge game, working that back into the fray. Henderson has that speed to do that. He has that playmaking ability to do that. And then you can still maybe put him in motion, stick him as a running back and just hand the ball to him. You can do a lot of things with Emmanuel Henderson. You can put him in the slot, put him in motion. You can have him return kicks. Have him return punts, too, for crying out loud. I mean, he's got explosives written on him. So, what does Saban have him doing in spring ball? How much of an impact could Henderson have? He's a big talent. He's a huge talent. Too much of a talent to keep away. Got to find some way to incorporate him more and more into the offensive scheme. So we'll see this spring what he does. I'm intrigued by it. I'm really intrigued because with him in the slot, he can be put in motion if you want him to do that and stick him in the backfield and give him the ball as a running back. What he could provide on special teams would be something that you would like to see happen there. A-Day game is going to be fun. This spring, Eli, all I got to say, they better have us back out there in practice again. I'm tired of waiting on the sideline. They better have us back out there. We're going to take another break here, folks, in the show. Don't touch that dial, folks. When we get back, we return to the phone lines. We grab your calls. We grab your conversations. We grab the dialogue with you. Light us up, man. We'll get to you after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, Tide Nation, we're back into the action from the break. Hottest show on the streets, talking Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Continue hitting that like button, dropping the likes on the show, hitting the like button, making this your platform, channel, and space to talk Bama. Also, all donations welcomed and appreciated. That daily super chat go $100. Daily super chat go $100 right there. We thank you guys for making this your spot. We go to the phone lines to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. The number to call in to let your voice be made known, 205-448-1358. We grab this call, hear you live on the show. What's happening, how we feeling, state your name, and where you calling from?
Hey, Stephen, I'm Caleb. I'm calling from Winfield. I enjoy your show, and my question is, will Caleb Downs compete at the safety position this spring? And what is the deal with Jeff Levy, and could we possibly get a package deal with Glenn Schumann and Jeremy Pruitt, maybe as defensive coordinator and coach? Appreciate it, Stephen, and roll Tide.
All right, appreciate Caleb from Winfield calling in there. So the first thought there would be Caleb Downs definitely see him competing for a spot there in the secondary, primarily at safety this spring, of a guy comes in. Incredible 5-star. Our own Justin Smith, once again, the director of scouting and recruiting for Touchdown Alabama, spent a lot of time with Downs, one of the most highly intelligent players he has covered on the recruiting trail. Funny note here, Caleb Downs was actually, when he walked on the field, for the Sugar Bowl against Kansas State, he walked on the field with Ha Clinton Dix, who is back as a player personnel developer for the Crimson Tide. So with Caleb Downs already picking Clinton Dix's brain, I can only imagine that young man is going to be right there in the competition for a starting spot there, primarily at safety. In terms of Jeff Lebby, he is a name that is right there in the conversation to be the offensive coordinator for Alabama. Crimson Tide moving on possibly from Bill O'Brien. Lebby, we have seen him do great work at Baylor, great work at Central Florida, great work at Ole Miss, did a fine job last year at Oklahoma, though the Sooners were in kind of a rebuilding year under Brent Venables. So, like Jeff Lebby, me personally, I would go after Joe Brady. Joe Brady's my guy, but if you couldn't get Brady, Lebby would be the next best name right there. But last but not least, a co-DC ordeal with Glenn Schumann and Jeremy Pruitt could happen. I know I'm being told that Saban wants Pruitt. He's all in on Pruitt, trying to get this final clause lifted to where Bama could have Pruitt before August. If they can't get through that clause, could you see a situation where it's Schumann and Pruitt as either an analyst or a position coach? You could see it. But right now, Pruitt trying to fight through getting this one clause here lifted to where he could come back sooner than August 1. But we will continue to monitor that. And as more news is being brought to us, we will get that to you. Appreciate my man Kang up from Winfield calling in there. 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in to let your voice be made known on the show. 205-448-1358. Call topic here, being that, especially we talk about Alabama needing to get back to that aggressive, physical, nasty style of football defensively. And it starts with getting the right coordinator in the room. But also, should Nick Saban consider bringing some former Bama players back defensively to infuse that energy even more in the room? Now, I don't know what particular roles the former players could serve in, but just having former players back in the program on defense, to me, it's a big deal because they played for Coach Saban. They played for you. They understand blood, the sweat, the tears, the nasty, the toughness, physicality, the work, the discipline, commitment, the effort, the grind. They know what it takes to win a championship and win championships at Alabama. Why? Because they were once here, the program at Tuscaloosa. So, if you're Saban, you got to consider reinvesting back into the Alabama football program by getting former players in here. And to me, the three that I wouldn't mind, I would love to see Nico Johnson at some point back at Alabama. He was a back-to-back national championship linebacker for you, 2009 and 2011 for the Crimson Tide. Alabama native from Andalusia, Alabama. A guy that passionate player, instinctive player. Did a great job this past season as the grad assistant for defensive lineman down there at Texas. With Nico Johnson on staff, Texas's defense gave up nearly 10 points fewer or less per game this season than what they did last year. And Nico Johnson played a big role in that, so I would love to have Nico back. Wouldn't mind that. Wouldn't mind having Sean Dion Hamilton back, another Bama native from Montgomery, Carver High School, played with you from 2014 to 2017, two-time national champion 2015 and 2017. was a big part of that 2016 defense that people just love at Alabama. Hamilton right now is on the defensive staff for the Detroit Lions under Dan Campbell. Lions finished at 9-8 this past season, a winning record for Detroit. Despite not making the playoff, Hamilton is helping that franchise change the narrative up there. And you're able to get him. Big deal there for Saban. I mean, how about Rudy Griffin? Rudy Griffin, yes, he's from Georgia, but transferred from the Citadel to Alabama in 2003. 2004 and 2005 was a linchpin starter on that defensive line, and Rudy Griffin from walk-on to that dude, Rudy Griffin, right there. A guy that's coached at quite a few high schools in the state, had a lot of success, coaching JUCO, having success, a guy that knows what it means to win in the trenches on the defensive line, can bring a lot of energy, a lot of passion, a lot of teaching, a lot of that Bama way back into the program. Those are just three names off the top of my head. Rudy Griffin, Nico Johnson, Sean Dion Hamilton. There are more, but those just three off the top of my head. If I was Coach Saban, hey, if we're talking getting the right coordinator in here, let's go all in. Bring former players that bowed it. Bring them back in here too. We're gonna do it. Let's go all the way in on it. See what happens though. We'll take our final break here, folks. We'll touch that dial when we get back. We tidy up loose ends with a fun, sort of controversial conversation going on. Alabama says Jalen Hurts belongs to us. Oklahoma says Jalen Hurts belongs to us. Jalen Hurts says, hey, I love both teams. We'll wrap this thing up with Jalen Hurts and the saga of two fan bases pulling on it. Talk about it after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
Well, people, we're back into the action, folks, from the break here. Hottest show on the streets. Talking Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Continue hitting that like button, raising those like levels up. Give us that thumbs up there on the show. Making this your network platform, channel, and space to talk Bama. All donations welcomed and appreciated, folks. At Daily Super Chat Go, $100. Daily Super Chat Go, $100 right there. Also, fans, please be reminded that tomorrow, streaming right here, 6 p.m. Central Time, on TDA's YouTube channel, we got the Bama Standard, special edition of the Bama Standard, as we pay homage, tribute, respect to a fallen, great Bama player, Ahmad Galloway, tremendous running back, gone way too soon. We'll be taking donations there. You feel led to donate. All proceeds will go to Galloway's family. Bama Standard with Justin Riley, comedy legend Steve Brown, all SEC linebacker, Bama legend Marvin Constant, two-time national champion, USFL champion Bo Scarborough, yours truly Stephen M. Smith. The Bama Standard tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, streaming right here on TDA's YouTube channel. So we pay our respect to great Ahmad Galloway. But right now, Eli, we're going to wrap things up with kind of a funny, controversial topic going all over social media. It's almost like I'm gonna give a pop culture reference. I don't do this a whole lot, Eli, so when this happens, it's kind of a big deal. But do you remember back in the 90s, early 2000s, where there were these two R&B singers, Brandy and Monica, and they had the song called "The Boy Is Mine," and everybody was trying to claim, who sung it better, who does the song belong to, Brandy or Monica? And I'm like, they both sound great. Stop trying to pit two legends against each other. I'm just trying to figure out who's gonna get the boy. Like, Monica says he's his. Brandy is saying that he's hers. Like, I'm just trying to figure out who the lucky dude is in this. That's competing for that they both competing after. So that was where my mind was. But it's kind of like that right there when you look at, you got two fan bases, Alabama and Oklahoma, trying to say Jalen Hurts belongs to us. Jalen Hurts belongs to me. No, Jalen Hurts belongs to me. And the whole time Jalen Hurts is saying, look, man, I claim both teams. Jalen Hurts, when he's even on the field making his NFL announcement, he's like, I'm Jalen Hurts from Channelview, Texas. Jalen Hurts from Channelview High School. Because he doesn't want to appear like he's taking sides or picking favorites. And I can understand why Hurts would be neutral in that way. But there was a tweet that sparked all of this, So a tweet came out on social media about how Jalen Hurts ended the 40-year drought for former Bama quarterbacks, becoming the first one since Richard Todd to lead NFL team to a playoff win. And somebody quote tweeted that saying, Bama fans being Bama fans, they sat there, they disrespected the guy, they benched the guy, they forced him to leave, and now they're trying to retroactively make claim on Jalen Hurts. How sad. When that tweet came out, Bama fans jumped on the guy's head all over Twitter. I mean, jumped on the dude's head. Now, Bama fans have a right to claim Jalen Hurts. Here's why they do. Jalen Hurts came at a very special time in Bama football history. Jalen Hurts is almost a cult-like figure when you look at Alabama football. Hurts came at a special time. He came at a special time where, Alabama had never started a true freshman quarterback in the Saban era. Saban had never started a true freshman. Jalen Hurts broke that mold. And not only broke that mold, dominated it. I remember, me personally, I had broke the story for Touchdown Alabama magazine in 2016. Before the season even started, Eli, I broke the story that Jalen Hurts would be the starting quarterback. I had spoken to coaches, players, janitors, team equipment managers, girlfriends, baby mamas. I spoke to all of them. And they all were like, Jalen Hurts is going to be the starter. And I break the story for TDA, and I got hit with pitchforks, torches. You idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. And lo and behold, I was right. Jalen Hurts became the starting quarterback. And it's like he grew from that moment to, 2017, helping the team to the national championship. And though, he didn't have a great first half against Georgia, got pulled for Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Hurts helped you get to that championship game. And then, of course, 2018, when Tua was the starter, and the SEC championship, Tua gets hurt. Nobody for Georgia wanted to see Jalen Hurts out there. No! The boy went out there and turned up. Made Alabama come back, 35-28 victory. So he came to Alabama at a unique time. First guy in the Saban era to start as a true freshman. Set a whole bunch of individual records. Almost won a national championship as a freshman, if not for Deshaun Watson. Came off the bench bench in the SEC championship game in 2018 to win the SEC title had Nick Saban choking up crying on the stage. Got his degree, marched down Coleman Coliseum with his bachelor's degree. You literally see Jalen Hurts in Eagles press conferences rocking Alabama gear. Not even Oklahoma gear. He's rocking Bama cutoff shirts from the fourth quarter program. If you listen to Nick Saban talk, if you listen to Jalen Hurts talk, he sounds like Nick Saban. He don't sound like Lincoln Riley. He sounds like Nick. He sounds just like Saban. You know what I'm saying? Bama fans have a right to claim Hurts. He was in Tuscaloosa for 3 seasons. Bama fans watched Hurts grow up. They have a right to claim him. Yes, Oklahoma got the Heisman Hurts. Yes, Oklahoma got the, Hurts that became a polished passer. Yes. But Bama Nation saw Hurts from baby up. Bama Nation saw Hurts grow up. Literally grow up right in front. Bama Nation saw dreadhead Jalen, saw haircut Jalen, saw Jalen go through every different phase of his career and still kept the same poker face. Bama fans saw that Jalen through and through. Saw the man grow up. Literally did. So, Bama fans have every right to claim Jalen Hurts. They do. They deserve every right, and they have every right to do so. It'll be different if Jalen was in Alabama for a semester and then spent 3 to 4 years in Oklahoma. Then I can see, okay, Alabama can claim Jalen Hurts. But Hurts spent 3 years at Bama. 3 years. 2 SEC titles. A national championship. A boatload of individual awards. A bachelor's degree. Yeah. Alabama fans have every right to claim Jalen. You got Jalen tell it, he cool with both teams. The man went down to the Senior Bowl with a helmet that had both programs' logo on there. He cool with both teams. But for the people that say, Alabama can't claim Jalen Hurts, get real. Man was in Tuscaloosa for 3 seasons. Marched with his bachelor's degree, Won 2 SECs. Helped win a national. Saw him make the growth at Alabama. Matter of fact, the quarterback that Oklahoma got was due to all that was instilled in him at Alabama. The quarterback that the NFL sees right now is because of what was instilled in him at Alabama. So yes, Crimson Tide fans have a right to claim Jalen Hurts. So I had to give my thoughts there on this controversy that's going all over Twitter. Sorry I embarrassed you, Eli, with the pop culture reference, but I had to pull out the Brandy and Monica the boy is. I had to pull it. It was the perfect time to pull it out. Had to pull it out. Gotta shout out Don Parker with that $5 donation, the super chats. Appreciate you, Don. Eddie Rhodes with that $20 donation in there as well. Eli, did we hit the goal? We hit it. Which means we almost hit it. It's okay. All right, folks. Daily super chat go, though, folks. That $100 right there. Appreciate all the donations. Welcome right there. Thanks to you guys. As always, people, you want the best in news, notes, information, coverage, entertainment on your Bama program. You can get this by going to touchdownalabama.com. That's touchdownalabama.com. Check out the site. Get you that subscription today if you haven't done so. We're keeping you up to date on all things Bama, all things Crimson Tide. Got you covered right there touchdownalabama.com. Also, people, don't forget, you can purchase individual copies of TDA, the magazine, have those sent to your door. That link will be found in the description. If you're trying to get your hands on the print fresh edition, print edition of TDA, the magazine, you go to touchdownalabama.com, you click join, become a member or a subscriber today. That link found in the description as well. Got to shout out you guys, the incredible fans of Bama football, for all the calls, all the likes, the donations, the chats, the conversations, you making this your show, your platform, your channel, your space to talk Bama football. Got to shout out my man Eli Walker over there in the production studio doing his thing behind the scenes. And as always, people, remember this: husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, you continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored. They're getting that schoolwork done, school week in the business right here. Get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.